Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. President ICAP, Mr. Ali Latif, President SAFA, Mr. Nihar Jambusaria, Vice President SAFA, Mr. Heshani Kurupu, Chairman AML Committee, Mr. Khalid Rahman, other distinguished speakers, members of the AML board, SAFA members, fellow chartered accountants, and all participants, a warm welcome to all of you. Today, we've had an interesting discussion by experts in this field. Anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism requires significant efforts, and this has become more relevant today than ever before, given the increasing complexity and globalization of financial transactions. The challenges we face are not limited just to our respective countries, but extend beyond borders. Criminal organizations and terrorist groups are constantly adopting to evade detection, which makes our role as practitioners all the more significant. Let me share with you some surprising facts. The estimated amount of money laundered annually is almost 5% of global GDP. That is almost $800 billion. In 2022, global banks recorded $10 billion in fines for AML violations. 48% of the banks have outdated technologies to meet AML compliance requirements effectively. That's what the Deloitte study shows. 90% of the global money laundering activities go undetected each year. This is what United Nations have to say. Identity theft and synthetic identity theft frauds are the latest trends for money laundering and terror financing. The anti-money laundering software market is projected to reach $1.77 billion by 2023. Anti-money laundering activities recover only 0.1% of the criminal funds. In response to the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2020, the financial industry is exploring the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning to detect illegal activities. However, the extensive data required and the data privacy regulations. The advent of the digital age has transformed the financial landscape, leading to increased fluidity of transactions, advent of digital banks. All this has created new opportunities for illicit activities of money laundering. Mr. Jambusaria, President SAFA, explained how it is easy today for diversion of funds, a tactic by which money can be moved rapidly across accounts or across countries in small amounts to avoid detection, and is a common money laundering method. The insights shared during today's webinar highlight the need for continued cooperation, innovation, and education within the AML CFT community. As we reflect on these discussions, it is clear that this has to be a global effort for a more secure and global financial system. Auditors play a pivotal role in the AML landscape, and their responsibilities include training their staff on the ground, AML legislation, establishing internal controls to address AML concerns, verifying the identities of new clients, and staying vigilant during audits to detect potential money laundering activities. It is essential for accountants and internal auditors to clear internal reporting procedures to report suspicious activities and ensure compliance with the AML laws. Compliance with anti-money laundering regulations is mandatory for any institution that handles financial transactions. Compliant AML program, a designate compliance officer. Today we heard Mr. Laknath emphasize the role of the compliance officer. Develop internal written policies, educate employees, schedule an independent third-party review, and deploy risk-based procedures for customer due diligence. Mr. Uday Kulkarni explained why it's important for finance professionals to be aware about the targeted financial sanctions. UN Security Council regulations require to immediately freeze assets and what countries are supposed to do to prevent and disrupt proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and avoid financing for it. Mr. Wahid showed us a video summarizing the role of FMU and FMI. The engagement and dedication of AML CFT practitioners and policymakers, combined with the guidance of the regulatory bodies, will continue to be the driving force behind the progress in combating money laundering and terrorist financing. Pakistan has exited the grey list in 2022 due to significant improvements made in AML and CFT framework. The Institute of Chartered Accountants was an active participant with the government and other stakeholders. President ICAP, Mr. Ali Latif, explained how Pakistan has initiated a comprehensive action plan involving legislative amendments and the creation of a strong national architecture. ICAP, as an AML CFT regulator, played a pivotal role. Ms. Tanzila of SECP also explained in detail the AML CFT supervisory structure and legal framework in Pakistan and its role for monitoring and oversight as a regulator. The ICAP AML Supervisory Board plays a significant role in the oversight and regulation of AML compliances. The board's primary objective is to ensure that ICAP members and firms providing auditing and financial services adhere to robust AML regulations and best practices. I have the privilege of being nominated to work on the AML board as a regulator. I'm confident that the insights gained today during this webinar will serve as a catalyst for more effective AML and CFT efforts. Together, we can make a real difference in the fight against financial crime. You have heard the Vice President, Mr. SAFA, of SAFA, Mr. Heshana Krupu, who has highlighted the commitment of SAFA to have many more knowledge-sharing activities of AML and CFT. In the end, I would like to extend my gratitude to all the organizers, especially Khalid Saab, for organizing such a wonderful and knowledgeable event, and to the SAFA team for bringing all this together, and Noreen putting in a lot of effort and hard work. Events like these are essential in fostering dialogue and collaboration among AML CFT practitioners and policymakers. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.